Hey guys, how you doing? I hope you are all well and this video finds you doing real good. I'm here in my Captain Kirk chair. Scotty, beam me up. I love this thing. This is just a little bit of a fun thing. But anyway, this is going to be kind of a bit relaxed. I don't really have, excuse me, anything too planned. What my intention is to give you another type of exercising that most of you are already doing. I'm just going to start to coach now, which is what I do. So I'm going to do a personal training session with you, if you will. This is going to concern all calisthenics. For the most part, something or things that you, exercises you won't need any equipment for, other than the first few things I'm going to show you. And I'll explain how that works. This is basically based on years of my own work, my own training, and also based on a workout and a certification I took back in 2015 with Danny and Al Cavadlo. They're two world-class trainers. They both live in Brooklyn, New York, yeah, hometown, and they are active today, actually. Well, same home and stuff, of course they're not, but they're both trainers in New York. They do world traveling, doing these workshops for Dragon Door Productions. And it's basically a progressive calisthenic workout. And progressive, I mean, they'll show you base work, and that's what I'm going to do, and how you can take that workout and progress into more. Why calisthenics? Well, it's first, things that you don't really need, exercising that you don't need equipment for. And again, most of you have done these things with me in class. I'm just going to help you now to formulate it, so going forward, you can do your own workouts or start to program your own workouts. Why are calisthenics important? Well, if you're looking to build super strong strength, if you're looking to change the way your body physically appears without the use of equipment, if you're looking to tone, strengthen, and as far as age-wise, lengthen your lifetime, calisthenics is the way to go. It's amazing the amount of exercises that are out there. You can go on YouTube and find hundreds of trainers doing this stuff. It is something, again, I have a bit of a passion for. So my recommendation, if you like to read a little bit and want to get on a program along with what I'm saying, what I'm giving you, you can look into this book. It's called Get Strong, and it's by Danny and Al Cavadlo. These are the brothers. And they're really, really super great people, so knowledgeable, just really good trainers and good friends of mine. Anyway, the name of the book is Get Strong. It's based on a 16-week program that progressively takes you from day one all the way through this 16 weeks of training. And each month you're tested at the end of the month by what's in the book to see if you should progress on to the next stage. So there's 4 stages in the book. And by the end of that, and I did the program back, I think, about 3-4 years ago, I gained a lot of strength. Did get some size going back then. I went up to about 200, what am I saying? No, I never was 200 pounds. I went up to close to 160 pounds. I'm normally averaging about 150. I'm close to that now. I'm doing the program again right now myself. Now this video is going to be a little bit long. Again, it's going to be an instructional video. My suggestion is you don't watch it all the way through. You can fast forward, do whatever. If you're not into this at all, stop at this point, delete the whole thing, don't waste your time. If you are into learning about exercise, if you are or have the desire to strengthen and grow, and I don't mean Arnold Schwarzenegger grow again, I mean just grow, physically grow with your knowledge of how you can progress yourself. Any place, anytime, anywhere. You don't need a gym for any of this. The gym helps. There are other things that you can do at the gym that will coincide with this, of course, without still the use of equipment, just more space, basically, and some minor equipment that you really don't need other than staying away from weights. Okay, So this is going to be based on a push and pull program. And by push and pull, if you think of exercising as pushing and pulling, and which is all exercises is, whether you're using resistance, that means weights or bands, or kettlebells, barbells, dumbbells, resistance bands, or anything like that. If you're using the resistance of just your body, that would then turn it into sort of a calisthenic type of movement. For instance, you can do push-ups, and a way to do something similar to a push-up would be a chest press or a bench press. So now you're using weights to do what a push-up would do. And there are ways to use push-ups to progress just as you would progress during lifting weights. Heavier weights, changing the sets and reps and things like that. So this again will be based on a push-pull system. By pushing and pulling, anything that you pull toward the body is considered a pulling exercise. For instance, pull-ups on a bar, lat pull downs, barbell rows, those are all pulling exercises. Pushing exercises are anything where you're pushing the resistance, your body, away from something. So if I was doing a bench press, that's a pushing exercise. Push-up is a pushing exercise. Tricep extension on a rope or overhead presses would be pushing exercises, okay? So you can see how that works. So this would be based on, the program is going to be based on both pushing and pulling combined, which is a good way to train, okay? Now what I'm going to do today is take a group of exercises that I'll show you going both ways, and I'll explain, because again, this is going to take some time, I'll explain how to use these exercises. So I'm going to start with a pulling exercise, okay? So again, that's something where I'm pulling my resistance, my weight, towards something. If I were doing a lat pull down or a barbell row, I'm pulling that in, I'm pulling that down, I'm pulling the resistance toward me. Here, on a pull-up or a chin-up, both are the same, by the way. Pull-up and chin-ups are both the same. It's just a matter of changing the hand positioning, and I'll explain that in a moment. Okay, so if you're doing any one of those, you're using your resistance, your body as your weight to pull into something, an object. In this case, it'll be the bar. I'm going to put this down. I'm going to work and move my beat-me-up chair away. Okay, so pull-up bar. Do you need anything as elaborate as this? Of course not. This is something I do because I have a home gym. Okay, you can use a door jamb if you have one with a grip, or if you have something that will hold you, perhaps a beam in the basement or something like that. My suggestion is if you don't have any kind of rig like this, you can go online and look into getting a doorway pull-up bar, okay? Now my suggestion is if you do, is to get the ones that don't have to go into the door jamb. That is, you don't have to actually screw them into anything. They literally hang from the top and press against the wall. So you have something over the edge of the door jamb, and then two little bars pushing against the door jamb. That's going to hold you up. Of course, you can't swing on it, and you don't want to swing anyway when you're doing these exercises, okay? So I'm going to take you through a pull-up, okay? So, using a grip about shoulder distance apart. Now, a true pull-up should keep tight, concise form. So if you've ever been in a gym, and most of you have, you've seen people swinging on the bar, their legs flailing all over the place. That is not a good pull-up. I don't care if they do 20 of them and say, look what I got. That's not a true pull-up. Everything that we do, again, you know how I am, is about form. And you want to keep in tight, concise form. And I'll show you what that looks like. So I'm going to take a moderate grip. Now I'll explain what to do with the back in order to do this correctly as well. Just give me a moment. So I have my grip here. Again, with my boo-boo finger, it's a little compromised, but I'll show you. So I'm going to just hang from the bar. So I'm completely body weightless. So let's say my weight is all now toward gravity dragging me down. Okay, and you can see I'm doing a complete dead hang. Here, if you notice, the muscles just under my arms, my lats, I'm going to engage them a little bit first. Okay, and this in and of itself is an exercise. Okay, and you want to do that to just start to engage the lat muscles. What does a pull-up work? My lats, my shoulders, my arms, and a little bit of the chest. So basically, everything from the rib cage up is getting work. Some muscles are highlighted more, depending on where you have your grip, wide grip, close grip, and you have many grips that you can take. Depending on where that grip is and how you engage the particular muscle is dictating how much of that muscle is going to assist you with the actual work. So, basic pull-up, okay? Again, hang, engage the lats. So you can see that little bit of a movement, boom, and now I pull up. Right above the bar, chin above the bar, and come back down. Now you notice I'm not curling my feet up. If you get a door pull-up bar, you're going to have to do that. You're going to probably have to, unless you have 10-foot high door jams. I don't think you do. So normally, given you height and given the arm length between the bar and the floor, you're going to have to curl your feet up. That's fine. My suggestion, if you do that, if you have to curl your feet, again, you want a straight line. They're simply curled, up, and down. Okay. I can't do a pull-up. What do I do? Well, I'm going to show you another exercise where you can do it. Let's say I don't want to buy a doorway pull-up bar, but I still want to get that ability to do some type of back work and arm work and shoulder work in a pull-up fashion. So, I have a piece of equipment here for that. Just give me a moment to set this up. And I have this other equipment here, as you can see. Okay. Imagine, if you will, your dining room table, your kitchen table. 2 legs on this side, I walk over, whether it's circular or square, and I have 2 legs on the other side. You can't do this exercise if your table has just the leg in the middle, okay, as some tables do. You want this so you have 4 legs on a table. So let's say I have my table here. And I'm going to slide underneath my table. So now this is the edge of my table. Okay, I'm going to grab hold of that, slide my body slightly forward. Now, progressions, okay? There are various ways of doing this. I can do this with my feet straight out, which would be more difficult because I have more distance between me and the bar, or I can do it in a modified position with my feet bent, okay? So I'll start this way so you can see. So I'm going to hang and lift my body slightly off the ground so I'm forming a straight line with my core and shoulders. And all I'm going to do is pull myself up and bring myself down. Now I can adjust the grip again here, pull myself up. Now this one is easier to do, or a baseline, as opposed to doing it here. That's called an Australian pull-up. I guess because I'm down under. Okay, so anyway, that's called an Australian pull-up. You can do it in a chin-up fashion. So a chin-up, again, is with the fingers or the hands facing you, facing the body. A pull-up would be here, chin-up would be here. Both the same, changes a little bit on the musculature and how it's affected. A chin-up is going to hit more of my bicep. A pull-up is going to still work my bicep, a little bit more forearm, and also my lat muscle, and of course shoulders, and does bring in the pec deltoideus, that's this muscle through here. Okay, so all that becomes engaged. So in chin-up fashion, basic. Notice my elbows are in, my core is flat. I'm not sagging in the middle and doing this. I'm bringing into a straight line, whether my feet are straight or not. and you're looking to pull mid-chest, okay? So chin up wise, pull up wise. Grip changes how it affects the muscle, okay, as well as the grip. So I can come in close and do them. Get a little bit more bicep on this. Wider, still gonna get some bicep, but also getting lateral lat, okay? Doesn't matter. So that's how, at home, you can do those pull-ups. Now, safety things. I want you to first think, okay, I'm gonna use my table. Make sure you have a good grip. Now, you can't do a chin-up on the table, obviously, because you can't grab it from underneath this way, but you can do the pull-up wise. You can do it with the palm facing away from or toward your feet, okay? So you should understand that. Be mindful, because now you're putting your weight on that table. So as long as it's a long table, I wouldn't use one of those card tables, you know, that are just made out of crappy aluminum and stuff like that. Let it be a strong table. Again, my suggestion is that you look into a doorway pull-up bar, or you can go online and look for something like this, which is very elaborate, and you do need space for it, obviously. A garage would be a great place, a basement perhaps as well. They also have different models. You can just Google pull-up bars, standing pull-up bars, and there's a lot of options or other things that you can do with this as well. There's different exercises that I can use this for, which is why it's so elaborate. Okay, so that explains pull-ups. That again is a pull-up or a pulling exercise, okay? Now, let's say for argument's sake, today is your upper body training, okay? And I'll tell you how to formulate that. There's different ways of doing a program. Maybe what I'll do, I'll explain that at the end after I show you the exercises. It'll probably be a little bit easier to do it that way. Okay, so I just did 1, 2, 3, 4 sets, whatever I decided, for X amount of repetitions. Okay, now I want to go and do another exercise for upper body, but I want to change that. So I'm going to do a pushing exercise now. Okay, by pushing I can do either push-ups, some kind of tricep movement, or chest movement, or shoulder movement, okay? Something that pushes away. And I'm going to show you variations of all of these right now, okay? So, push-ups, you've already had the tutorial on YouTube that I showed you a bunch of different push-ups that you can use. Again, start with the base one, make sure you have the form down tight, and then you can move on from that point, okay? So, I just did my pull-ups, my push-ups next. Okay, I do 3 sets of push-ups, X amount of repetitions. You can do more, but right now let's just keep it in a 3 or 4 set range, okay? And I'll explain how to progress that if you're just beginning into this stuff. So, I just did those. I want to do another exercise. I've done 2 separate exercises already. I've done pull-ups. I've done a group of push-ups. What can I do next? Well, I can stay with triceps or chest. I can do, some of you practice animal flow, that does work your chest and also the other body parts as well. But right now what I'm looking to do, rather than add crawling or tumbling movements on the ground, I'm thinking of just highlighting calisthenic work, okay? So I want to go into another pushing exercise, and this time I'm going to do an inverted press, okay? So, a lot of you know from my class what an inverted press is. It's just being in an A-frame position. Okay, and down and back up. Now this is the basic one. Now, can I leave my knees slightly bent? Of course. Just be mindful when you do that you're not hunching down this low. A slight bend if you can't or aren't comfortable in an inverted position is fine, okay? When you bend, you can tend to also come up a little bit off the heels onto the toes. Now, I want to line my head up with my elbows, and move a little bit forward toward my fingers as I come down, and then press back up and push into, again, where my head is between my arms. Now, to increase the difficulty on this exercise, you can come up on your toes. So here, I'm going to come up on my toes, or wherever I am between there, press down, back up into that position. Really, really, really great shoulder strength. If you have a shoulder issue, or not the strength to go through that full range where your head is coming just an inch or so above the ground when you come down, then shorten your range of motion. Or if you don't have the strength, but your shoulders are okay, let's say I have the flexibility and the strength to do a couple of reps. Okay, cool. I'll come down, do a full range. As I start to tire, let's say I'm looking to do 8 to 10 reps, I'll shorten my range. For those of you who do have strength, you can increase the degree of difficulty by adding height. So let's say I put a couple of yoga blocks or a couple of books underneath my feet. That works well. You may ask, do my feet have to be together or should they be apart? That's up to you. Bringing them together is going to make it a little bit more challenging, a little bit more apart, broadens your base, so it's going to become a little bit easier. If you want to increase the degree of difficulty more, get yourself a Captain Kirk chair. Okay? Okay? And now I have, you don't want to go, or it's not necessary to go with anything above your own knee height. So I don't need to come up here and do it, obviously. You can do it lower, but if you're going to elevate, and these are called elevator pike presses or pike push-ups, I wouldn't go above my knee, okay? Here, simply, again, think about the form, press. Now, when I said earlier about progressive calisthenics, that's how you get stronger. If you notice, anytime you take a class, a good instructor is going to teach both baseline and progressive work for several reasons. One, different people in the class have different capabilities. And two, for the people who are capable, they shouldn't continually do the same thing. Okay? They should be able to change and increase the degree of difficulty to progress physically and strength-wise themselves. Okay? That should be a basic understanding. Okay, now you can do those elevated pike presses. You can do, same idea, elevated push-ups. To get back to the push-up category. Again, you're increasing the degree of difficulty, progressing a basic push-up into a more advanced push-up. Progressive calisthenics. Hand grip is up to you. On the inverted presses, I would keep my hands about shoulder distance, perhaps a little bit wider. No need to really bring them in too close. Although you would incorporate a little bit more tricep work, that's not necessary. Okay, so now we have those. Okay, let's move the chair back out of the way. As again, I said earlier, this is going to be a rather long or lengthy video. I'm not sure how long because I'm just going through this. I didn't really practice anything. I just have in mind what I want to do. So if you start to get a little bored, again, you could stop it at some point. You have the ability on your whatever phone or computer to go forward and back, fast forward or reverse, okay? So you already know that. Okay, next, let's say I want to continue with some upper body work. And I want to go and do another pushing exercise now, because there aren't many pulling exercises that you can do calisthenic-wise, okay? So now what can I do? Dips, or something for my triceps. A number of ways you can do that. You have dinner chairs, the same table you did your pull-ups with. You can use the chairs, and I'll use these for my chairs for that. It's great having a barn, I was going to say a barn like this, a garage like this with all kinds of stuff in it. So, you can obviously see, these, let's say, are my two chairs. Now, just like the table, if you were doing those Australian pull-ups, you do need to have something strong and sturdy, okay? If you're using the seat part of the chair, your range of motion is going to be really very restricted, and you probably won't be able to get anything at all. Using the opposite end of the chairs, the high edge or the back edge of the chairs, could be tricky because they could fall in on you. So if you don't have good form, they could be dangerous. Now, if you have stools, like a bar stool, that could work because they're higher seated. If you have just a flat stool, you don't understand what I'm saying, you can use something like that. Chairs do work, okay? I'll show you another way you can use a kitchen chair on the seat part in just a moment. So if you have two stools at home, this exercise becomes a lot easier. Just lift, drop, press up, okay? And again, the locking part is what's important, okay? I'm a little bit wider out than my own shoulders. I support my weight first, dip down so my elbows are about parallel, press up and lock out at the top, back down. Now, on stools, that'll work fine because they're again higher up and they have the four legs, you have a good base. If you have a chair, what you can do is still do the dips, and we do this a lot off the benches, the Jane Fonda kind of bench, but I'll quickly grab my chair here. So, this is my table chair, my dinner chair. I have, I don't know, something in front of me. I have a table, if you want to go up higher. I have a little chair, the other opposite chair on the table, let's say. So let's say that this was my two chairs next to each other. And I'm going to simply put my feet up on the one chair and dip. Now, if I want to make it a little bit easier on myself, I could just do one leg. Yes, Pat, you can also do them this way to still make it easier. You can also bring the feet out and get a little bit more work. Remember, further away you bring your base from your body and the working area, the more difficult the movement becomes, the more advanced it becomes, okay? So even doing something here and progressing to this is a progressive calisthenic, okay? So that's how that works. It's just a slight change, but yet you're making the exercise more difficult, more advanced. You're progressing from the base up another notch. Okay, now, this I'll just throw in. Another way of doing we're almost done, by the way. We only have a little bit more to show you. Another way of doing tricep work, if you have some type of platform where you can do this type of movement, okay? So what I'm going to basically do is come up here. Now, I'm not saying what you might have or what you wouldn't have at home that you can use that on, but when we do go back to the gym, and we will be going back at some point, when we do go back to the gym, you have that as another option. You can go over to the bar in the weight area, set it up, just about height, chest height, jump up, and there you go. Boom, okay? Not much to explain about that. You can see what happens. Are they difficult exercises? Yes, of course they are. but they're ways of advancing. As far as triceps, I go to Home Depot, I go to Lowe's, I shop more at Lowe's because they give me the veterans discount. Hey, you can use PVC, a couple of elbows, little pieces of PVC on the bottom, and make one of these. Obviously this is wood, it's a much nicer model than making PVC ones, but they work perfectly well. Again, my dips, so I'll turn sideways. See these? Okay. More difficult. More difficult still. Shorter range of motion on those bad boys, you can see. But these work really good for a number of things. If you really want to progress in calisthenics and things like that, this is a good tool to have. You can practice. My next subject that we're going to finish on is core work, and I'll explain in a moment. These are really good for working the core, working the shoulders, working the arms, L-sits. Okay? 2 objects. Here you can use your table chairs, okay, to do this, but you notice the form. My butt is in line with my hands. I'm not back here. I'm not here. I'm in line here. More difficult, one leg up. More difficult still, both legs up. One leg down, one leg out. Okay, a lot of arm strength involved in that, a lot of core strength involved in that, but it's primarily a core exercise. What it does is work shoulders, triceps, and core, okay? And you see the degrees, how you can progress from one platform to another. You can do these on table chairs, okay? You don't need to have bar stools, although they work well on that as well. Okay? So, a little bit more core work, calisthenic-wise. If you choose to get a door pull-up bar, or if you're going to invest in something crazy like this, my suggestion then, for me, I use these simply because my shoulders, I had a bad shoulder a couple of years back from bad form, okay, admittedly, and I learned a lot since then, but hanging from the bar and doing my core work becomes difficult because as I start to go through my movements, it really puts a lot on my shoulders. So these have been around for 100 years, they've been around for a long time. I purchased a pair of these. I put my arms through and it helps take all that stress off of my shoulders, okay? So what do you do even if you're hanging? If your shoulders are cool with it and you're hanging, okay, what kind of core work can I do? Now remember, we just did all our upper body. Right now I'm going to stay with my upper body, or from my waist up, let's say, and work some core exercises. Well, basically, you have lifts, okay? Notice I'm not doing, if you're doing that, get these or get your bar and just throw it in the garbage pail, all right? Don't waste your time. Everything, again, in all of this, to get the results you need and to stay away from injury, is form, okay? So, one idea is if you have a maid at home, your spouse, one of your kids, or whatever it may be, a big dog, just get that person to lean against you back to back. Don't need to be my hands pushing against somebody on the bar. What I can do is have my mate hanging behind me, my significant other, if I do move around, and just lean in so I can't move now. This is all core. So, there you have it. Now, what I'm going to do with you guys, again, this is primarily calisthenics, progressive calisthenics, all upper body. Tomorrow or the next day, I'll send you out a lower body exercise you can do. And the way to format this, and I said this earlier on, the way to format it would be, if you're just starting out on this journey, would be to take 3 days of a week. So let's say I do Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I'm going to use some of the exercises I did, upper body, push and pull, right? Okay? I'm going to use some of those exercises I did, all upper body, and then if I'm only doing it 3 days a week, alternating days, I'm going to add a couple of exercises for my lower body. So let's say I did some pull-ups, I did some push-ups, maybe I did a tricep dip of some sort, and then I'm going to add 2 or 3 more leg exercises as well. That would give you a 3-day-a-week split. Okay, whatever 3 days you choose, you want to have a day off in between, and then toward the weekend you'd have 2 days off. You would stay with a program like that for several weeks. A month would be fine, whatever you feel works. After that time, what I would recommend you do is go on to a 2-day split. Okay, so the first was a 3-day split. 2-day split is, say Monday, I do all upper body work, core, finito. Tuesday comes, all lower body, okay? That's a 2-day split. So Monday, Tuesday, upper body Monday, Tuesday, lower body, Wednesday off. Now Wednesday, again, your day. You can do rest, you can do stretching, animal flow, running, biking, whatever it is you feel like doing. Thursday, Friday come in, you repeat what you did on Monday, on Thursday. Friday, you repeat what you did on Tuesday, lower body. So now you're doing the same body parts twice a week. Should you change the exercises? Not in the beginning. Not in the beginning. If you're doing the 2-day split, the Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, you could add more of the exercises, more upper body on the Monday and Thursday, more lower body on the Tuesday and Friday, okay? Saturday and Sunday, again, is off, whatever you want to do, light workout or whatever. But you can stay on this program a month or 2 months, progressing. More repetitions, maybe adding a set here and there. But saying I did 2 sets of pull-ups for 8 reps or whatever. I'll do that for the first week, the Monday and Thursday. Come week 2, maybe I'll add another 2 to it if I can, okay? And I'll progress that way by adding a little bit more repetition to each exercise. By the end of the month, if you stayed like that for 1 month, doing whether you did the 3-day-a-week one or the 4-day-a-week one, you can test yourself. Well, okay, I'm going to take each of those exercises and make sure I can do them for the set amount of repetitions. Let's say I went up to 10. Boom, 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 that I can do them all. Once I can do that, then it's time to change the exercising, okay? Maybe adding a different type of exercise for upper body, lower body, and doing the same thing, okay? Again, that's why I do recommend, if you get a chance, look into this book, Get Strong. No, I'm not getting money from Al and Danny. They don't even know I'm doing this. Next time I see them or talk with them, of course, I can tell them, hey, you know, they just love me more for it. Okay, but again, the name of the book, come closer, is Get Strong by Danny and Al Cavaglo. Okay, you can also Google me with any questions you may have on any of this. Again, I hope all is well at home. I'm going to send this out later today. Please feel free to get back to me. Again, you don't need to watch this all the way through. Maybe you will. My suggestion is if you do, and it's later on already, you probably have gotten this far if I'm telling you this, but have a cocktail. Just enjoy it and watch it, okay? Love to you all. Be safe. I'll talk with you soon. Bye-bye.